Welcome back, friends. Episode number 4,372 of the Monroe County Sheriff's Behind the Badge podcast. Actually, lost track of what number this is, but my name is Todd Baxter. I'm the Sheriff of Monroe County here in Rochester, New York, and sharing our deputies and what we do for a living and what we can do for you as a service provider in our community. And one of the things we're going to talk today about the motor unit. But before I go any further, I just have to give a plug real quick to the bumper music. I try to always do that. This is Tommy Burnett from Fairport, local musician. Runs a good bourbon distillery out there. If you've ever been out there, it's good stuff. But he just broke his ribs, so I'm sending a little shout out to Tommy about your ribs. Hope you heal soon, brother, and get well. And today we're talking about our motor unit, and the fine Lieutenant MacKenzie's here. How are you, LT?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
How about just a quick introduction for the community? Who the hell are you?
I'm Matt MacKenzie. I am a patrol lieutenant assigned to C-Zone, the west side of the county, on afternoon shift. Born and raised here in the Rochester area in Webster. Right. Was a police officer in Virginia for 5 years. Came back to be a part of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Now live in Webster again with my wife and two boys.
It's good to have you on the show, and we got some B-roll of the recent promotion to lieutenant.
Yes, this past January.
Yeah, congratulations. Looks good on you, those butter bars.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to have you with them, too. And Matt squared today. Matt, too. I didn't call you a square. I'm just saying That's Matt squared tends to here. But Matt, Deputy, take it to an opportunity to introduce yourself, if you would, please.
Sure. Matthew Whiting. I have been here with the Sheriff's Office for 14 years. Before that, I was a police officer in the city of Richmond, Virginia. Since I've been here, I've worked in the traffic enforcement unit at night, trying to get drunk, impaired drivers off the road, keep everything safe. The rest of my career was in A-Zone, so the east side of the county. Primarily worked Penfield, Perrington, Pittsford. Was able to get into the motor unit back 2015. And currently, I am in our unmanned aircraft systems program, so our drone program.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you guys are building one hell of a program there, too. And we can never stop talking about that program, where it's developed to and where we plan on going with it. It's exciting, that cutting-edge technology. But one of the things we're going to talk about today is kind of old technology. You know, in the world of law enforcement, motorcycles have been around a long time.
Sure.
I'm sure the community says, well, why do we need motorcycles in a police department? And what efficiency do they add to the organization, or what effectiveness that we couldn't do with other types of vehicles? I got a lot of ideas in my head, but you're the expert, so how about you just take a stab at that question so why a motor unit in a sheriff's office?
I think most importantly, there's not a perceived barrier. It's great to interact with the community. So whether it's a parade, a community event, or something like that, it's a talking point. We ride Harley-Davidson motorcycles. Nothing more American than that, right?
Yeah, right.
And they've been a part of the Sheriff's Office for over 100 years
Have
now.
they really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So, you pull into the parking lot, you might be just going there to get, dinner or coffee or something like that. Everybody wants to talk. Talk about the motorcycle. Didn't know you guys had them.
Yeah.
So it draws a conversation. The kids love to see them. We bring them to our open houses, stuff like that. Patrol the parks. Other places that a car can't go. So it is functional. They're great for traffic enforcement. The canal path, stuff like that. You'll see us during the summertime making our way down there. There is some real function to them, but it's a great PR tool too. We can talk to the public.
I didn't realize that. We think of our mounted unit, our horse units, doing the same thing. It's a connectivity point to the public that normally wouldn't walk up to a patrol car and carry on a conversation.
Yeah, there's not a door, right? So we're right there, and people can wave to you and you talk to them. And I have a real passion. I know Matt shares the same passion for the motor unit, and we know the topic inside and out.
Right.
And to talk to other motorcyclists and stuff like that, or kids, they just love it.
Or if the sheriff just got a Harley and needs a jack for his Harley, we
there
just
you
call
go.
The experts.
Absolutely.
Like, I know people. I know people that at least know this stuff. So you may have gave me that good advice. I still haven't bought it though, but it's because my bike is dirty.
It's a great tool to have.
Yeah. I should probably clean the bike too. And Matt, just a little bit about your experience on the bikes as a deputy sheriff. From an enforcement standpoint, how is it assisted in law enforcement?
So to be out and be visible on the motorcycle, sometimes you're overly visible, which is great. Sometimes you're almost invisible.
Right.
So to use that to your advantage, the speed enforcement side of it, trying to get traffic to be as safe as possible by doing the enforcement on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
People aren't seeing them all the time, so when they see the lights come on behind them, They have no idea where you came from, but it's about just increasing the safety out there. On a patrol aspect, when I left the east side, I was still riding on patrol as many days as I possibly could. Handwriting reports on the side of the bike,
Right.
Handwriting my tickets on the side of the bike, start in the morning and end in the afternoon, and
Do a whole patrol shift on the
Whole
on the
patrol
bike.
shift.
That's pretty cool.
and I'll be honest, it could be as hot as it could be. It could be raining. I never had a bad day riding a motorcycle.
right.
It was always a good day when you came in. So the public relation tool, being in the middle of an intersection and just somebody's giving you the thumbs up,
Right.
seeing the kids in the back seat of the car.
That's
It
pretty
was
cool.
just nice to be able to go where other people couldn't, and then be out doing the job just with the sun beating on you.
Yeah, and as an administrator, I think I used to be a cop, right? And the enforcement would be so much fun just to roll up on one of these things, and probably changes the channel on a domestic call when you go to it. Like you're rolling up on a bike and with your boots on, and give you that change the channel type opportunity. But going back to my administrator side of the house, a budget for this, right? We gotta approve budgets. We got to go to a legislator and get money funded for things like this. These are expensive propositions. And then the other part is safety, So I'd just like to talk about those two subjects real quick about, the budget consideration. So we know what the force multiplier as far as enforcement or speed enforcement or getting places, like you said, on a canal path that we can't take a patrol car. But, from a budget standpoint, what's one of these things costing us? What's the value of one of these things? And then we'll talk about the safety in your training.
Completely outfitted from the dealership and with all our emergency lights on it. It's probably about $30,000.
Yeah.
But the shelf life of that motorcycle is about 10 years.
10 years, you get
So
out.
we're not trading them in every year.
Right.
The sheriff's office owns them.
That's a good value.
It is.
When you look
It
at a
is.
patrol car, that's a great value.
And the riders take pride in being issued that motorcycle.
Right.
So each of our motorcycles has a rider's name on it because, we take care of them.
Dedicated bike,
Yep.
yeah.
We wash them, we clean them, we make sure they get their service. So there's, I think,
It's hard not to watch
I know.
the drone footage, by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah. So we take pride in it, and it's not something that is going to not receive the care that it deserves.
Right. No, they're beautiful. They're good bikes. And why the Harley? You mentioned American made, but is that the only reason, or is that?
Well, back in pre-96, 1996, there was a period of time that the sheriff's office was riding Kawasaki's, and I think most agencies around here were.
Oh, really?
And then we came back to Harley Davidson. So before I got here, but the technology, although the motorcycles look pretty much the same from 1996, I can tell you that the performance and the technology has vastly increased. Now the Einlock brakes, the link braking system, they stop on a dime and give you
Yeah.
5 cents change.
They got it.
They're a great tool.
Especially the way you guys are using them, right? What about the clutches? I've heard a lot about the clutches. We got that problem. So for our Harley guys out there, talk about this clutch thing. That
I'm a big fan of my cable clutch now.
Oh, yeah.
The motor I'm riding is a 23. They went back to cable clutches for a while. They had switched over to hydraulic clutches. The previous motor I had was a 2017. So the first generation that they had switched over to the hydraulic.
Yeah.
So it was on or off, and it was all the way extended
there's
in
no
your hand.
threshold. You're not riding this thing out.
It was
Took a lot of hand strength.
Yeah.
It did. They kind of changed that 2 years later, and they gave some upgraded parts, different springs, another clutch pack, and you were able to get a little bit more out of that clutch, which you were used to. I never had the opportunity to really push myself in some of our tighter cone courses, so I didn't get accustomed to it. But once I got the new motorcycle, I said, "You guys can have the hydraulics.
Yeah.
I'm out of it. I'll stay with
I
the
elected
cable."
to stay with the hydraulic.
Yeah,
clutch.
really?
I did.
Wow.
So, one
Here's
of the
the
things
debate.
one of the things that we went to is
show is better
we
with
went to
controversy.
we went to the Harley Davidson school, and we talked to a mechanic, and I'm like, what do you prefer? And he's like, I prefer hydraulic all day long.
Really?
Because if I had 20 motorcycles out here in a line, and they all had hydraulic clutches, they would all feel pretty much the same because they're self-adjusting. If I had 20 cable clutch bikes, they'd all feel just slightly different.
Yeah.
So I got used to it. I guess I have more hand strength, Matt.
I guess so.
But well, and you're not driving a fleet vehicle. Like you said, you have them assigned to you, so
Right. So you get used to it.
Yeah.
And going from my motorcycle to another one of the same year, just some different miles, there's definitely a difference in the cable feel from one motor to the next motor. Matt jumping from his motorcycle to the same generation, it's going to be exactly the same. So I just never had that opportunity to have the newer clutch and to really get that feel and get the, the points of where the motorcycle feels to really get in love with the hydraulic clutch.
Right. Well, thanks for bringing that controversy in here, and we didn't solve anything, but
So
we found out you are
cable
weak.
clutch is the
We
way
found
to
out
go.
one of you are weaker than the other. That's what we got.
It's fine.
It's good as long as and that brings me to the next point. As long as we're giving you a bike that is safe, and that you
Absolutely.
can operate and control it, because where you're bringing these motorcycles is literally incredible sometimes. And I know we've seen some off-road training going on and things like that. The average Joe and Jane would never think about bringing a motorcycle, in particular a Harley, off-road, but we got to do it. I mean, we're pursuing bad guys sometimes
Right.
in these things, and so we got to be ready for any environment that comes our way. You mentioned riding in the rain, no big deal. It's just what you do. Me being a novice rider, if there's a rain cloud, I'm heading home, right? I
Yeah.
want no part of it because I haven't been trained like you guys. But so let's talk about training. I've heard about our schools around the state. There's only so many motor schools around, and your guys have run one of the best. That's what I've heard multiple times. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It's not one time or two times or three times I've heard that across New York State. Other motorcycle units know you guys by name, so that's pretty cool. But so what is the training? I know there's a base model, probably DCGS says we have to do so many things.
Actually, DCJS doesn't have a standard.
Yeah, no motors.
Yeah.
Really.
So I was
Department of Criminal Justice Services,
Yep.
by the way. See, I did an acronym. Correct myself.
So I'll tell you what brought around the program. So back in 2006, I've been a member since 2006. We had somebody come in and put some training on for us. It was a 5-day school. At the end of the school, did I feel more confident than I did before I began? Yes. Did I feel like I was a proficient rider? I didn't feel like I was there. And that's what we want out of our schools, to develop a professional rider. So myself and Deputy Cerrone, retired, now working for East Rochester, we went to a Harley-Davidson school in Florida on our own dime.
Wow.
A 2-week school, had a lot of fun, and when I left there, I felt completely confident in my abilities. Knowing that was the skill level that I wanted to have the other members of our unit develop, then I went to instructor school. So that was a 3-week school. Then I brought that material back to the public safety training facility and tossed up the idea of running our own motorcycle school. And they loved the idea just because there was nothing this side of Western New York. Myself, Deputy Whiting, Deputy Cerrone all became instructors for the class. And that requires us to even recertify as instructors every 3 years. So to stay on the top of our game. We've had a lot of success. Our school is 80 hours, so it's 2 weeks. Yes, it is.
It's a lot of riding.
Yeah.
It's a lot of riding, and that's what it is. It's out there in the field on the lab, burning gas until you get that muscle memory. We teach some key skills that head and eyes, looking where you want to go, throttle and clutch control, and proper application of the rear brake. At the end of it, and it's crawl, walk, run through these courses. There's 9 tested courses. And then we throw in some fun stuff, that off-road and just some skill-building riding, stuff like that. But at the end of it, there's 9 tested courses that the students have to successfully complete. And there's different criteria for each course. So some are low speed, and they mimic real-life situations. You could be pulling up to that accident in the intersection. You just got to negotiate around some crash cars or some parked cars. Other stuff are higher skilled, so you're going down the expressway, and all of a sudden there's that object in front of you, but you don't have a way out. The lane to your left you is taken by a car, and the lane to the right is a no-go either. So you have to weave around that object within your lane. And then there's a combination of the stuff where it's high-speed emergency braking into a slow-speed negotiation. So we ask a lot of the students, but when they leave there, they're a very proficient rider. And police officers, who've gone through this course are considered to be in the top 10% of riders in the country.
It's amazing. And it's not a gimme. I've talked to many people that have gone through the course. I've been out to observe your training at the new driver level, if you will, a new operator. I was surprised that bikes get dumped. These beautiful, expensive Harleys get dumped, and you got but that's the anticipation. You got to be able to even control a fall, right? I mean, it's going to happen in real life, and they're worn out. That was the deputies and officers are walking out. It's like they've been through a football game or something like that. It's a lot of work.
It's definitely a wearing on your body. You pay a toll. We do not teach how to dump the motorcycles.
Not to fall gracefully.
No, they actually pick that up on their own. But we do teach them. We do teach them how to pick up the motorcycle because we do anticipate it happening. It's just part of the training. You know, we do teach them keep your feet on the floorboards. You know, don't try to tap your way out of the situation because that's where
I should go to your training.
Become injured. But they leave a proficient rider, and then we talk about practice because these skills, they're perishable.
So I see, I go by MCC all the time, and I see a driver training out there, a motorcycle driver training, and probably a certificate program. What would be the difference between that and your school? I mean, it's got to be obviously a lot longer. I mean, I think that's probably an 8-hour school compared to an 80-hour school. But you know, you mentioned some base things. I've been riding. I used to ride back in the Army. Now I've been riding a Harley the last couple of years with no formal training at all. And you just mentioned a few things. I'm going to go home and study, at least Google and say, what am I doing wrong in this bike? Everybody should go through that training. I can't believe I don't have to as an operator.
So that course you're talking about over at MCC, that Motorcycle Safety Foundation, that's bringing somebody that may have never done anything other than look at a motorcycle.
Right.
You know, our course, we're taking some of the skills that you would already have. Hopefully we can fix either some bad skills, some bad habits that you have. But if you just listen to our base criteria of, you know, moving your head and eyes faster, allowing the motorcycle to move underneath you, finding that gray zone of your clutch, and then your proper application of your front brake. The rear brake will carry on with it, and just knowing where everything is. If you follow our basics, we'll get you through all these advanced courses. And the whole idea is, 1, to keep you safe, 2, to make you look good, right? So at the end of the day, we want everybody going home safe. And then we want them looking good while they're going home safe.
Yeah, I see you guys in parades. You look like Blue Angels going next to each other and doing your little figure eights and stuff. I'm like, you guys should be an Olympic sport there.
There are competitions, but you know the difference between civilian riding and law enforcement riding are night and day.
Is it really? Yeah.
You know, so one of the more dangerous things we do on the motorcycle is the processions, the escorts, you know, dignitaries or, you know, a funeral or something like that where we're passing traffic. So the skills that we teach in this course, you know, in the emergency braking, we're trying to teach them to become good defensive
50,
riders.
60 cars and trying to get back to the front.
Yep. And then making sure that every other car that's trying to get through that procession or they're running late somewhere, you're making sure that every traffic intersection is under control. There's a lot of looking ahead. So if you take our riders that go through our courses and you put them now into a patrol car, they're looking so much further ahead. They're seeing things that the general patrol guy or even civilian are not looking ahead because we're always looking ahead. We're always looking for that way out. We're looking to, 12 seconds further.
Yeah. So we did the community relations. We have the enforcement, law enforcement. We got if you will, directed patrols in areas that we normally can't get to, special attentions we can't do. One of the things that it gets me every time, is that escort, that fallen police officer. I don't even like to talk about it. It's getting me already. The fallen police officer escort, and you're standing in a formation for an hour waiting for the family to come, and you hear them Harleys, right? And you just hear them humming coming up, and you look, and there's different jurisdictions, right? There's 30 deep with that hum. It's getting me right now. It's like hearing taps, your hand saluting taps will get you every time. And it's amazing how you guys can use that tool also to bring dignity and honor and respect and to a family of a fallen police officer, a veteran we're picking up at the airport and bringing him back to his family down south or something like that. People don't realize that tool that we use it for, that dignitary escort you said, but the fallen. It's in the back. It's in my midbrain right now just thinking about it. Just that hum, they're coming. You've been waiting, and here they come. And it's all about showing respect, and and you guys do it with those Harleys. It's an amazing tool that I don't think was actually designed into the program.
No, it's nothing we look forward to, but it's an honor for us to participate in those ceremonies.
Yeah, especially when you again 30 deep, and you got Buffalo PD there, and it doesn't matter. You're all motor guys together, and you're one team
For sure.
at the moment. Yeah, pretty cool. Oh, you got me choked up. So what do we got to talk about? What else I had my list of questions, but what would you like to share with the community about these motorcycles and the motor units? Anything we didn't hit?
No, if you see us out there, talk to us.
Yeah.
We don't have a window to roll down or something. We're out there. We want us to talk about it.
Public relations
We love
tool.
it.
Yeah.
We're passionate about it. Everybody, on the unit loves motorcycling. So
How many guys are in the unit?
right now we have 6.
Yeah.
We have 8 motorcycles in our fleet, which is a good number. We're trying to up. We'd like to have 7 members, and then just have 1 spare because motorcycles go down and stuff like that. Right. So it's always nice to have 1 spare, then nobody misses out on a detail. But everybody takes care of their equipment. They have a passion to be in the unit, and we love talking to the public about it.
That's great.
Yeah. For the most part, all of us are kind of similar gearheads. We love anything with an engine. We just kind of something we all gravitated towards.
You put a drone on one yet?
No, but
I don't want to challenge you, but put the two loves together.
we can make some work.
I bet you could. I bet you could.
We are working. We are trying to add some technology to get MDT on there.
Yeah.
So one of the problems we encountered within the past 3 years is we've gone less paper in our reporting. Mm-hmm. So everything's kind of driving towards using a computer, which we typically have not done, and space is at a premium on those motorcycles.
Right, yeah.
So we're researching some options. Maybe we're going to change certain things that we've done, but try to make a headway into getting the ability to have a computer with us so that we can start doing some reporting, some electronic ticketing.
Accident reports, yeah.
Accident reports, going back towards that, using them on patrol and being able to pull up to any scene, be able to work the entire job from beginning to end without having to go back to an office to go write that report up.
Well, just going to my SWAT days, if we put a long gun on one, that'd be pretty cool too, right?
Well,
the side holster.
That's also possible.
What do I mean? I can't see it.
There are other
I see the
agencies.
request on my desk tomorrow.
Yeah, there's other agencies that are currently doing that and doing all of it.
Yeah.
Just trying to, kind of do it all at once might be the best thing.
Just going back to computers, you can have enough power on that thing, enough electricity, or they got to make some adjustments there. You can run an MDT off that power system.
Yep. For the most part, all of our motorcycles we put electronic charging after our shift. So come home, plug it in. The batteries are small. We do have dual batteries in it, but it would be enough to float us for the rest of the day.
That's good.
Batteries in the laptop, that's going to hold it. So
enough
to work through there.
Well, I hope we gave a little glimpse into our motor unit, what you got, how professional you guys are. People can see that, just listen to your passion for this tool. It's all about community service. It's about providing that service, whether we can do it in many different fashions, enforcement, but more public relations. I'm glad you shared that, LT, right off the bat. And that wasn't canned. It's just another great tool to get out there in the community and let them know who we are and carry on conversations with the people we're serving. And the dignity and respect for those that are fallen or may need an escort from point A to point B. The professional training, again, you guys go to a level that's probably second to none in New York State from what I've heard. And so I appreciate your professionalism. I appreciate your effort into this program. I support it 100%.
We appreciate that.
It's a no-brainer. And then I know we gave a couple Harleys maybe for a very cheap price to Livingston County. Are those bikes still running down there?
They are.
Yeah.
They've gone through our school.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, on those bikes?
Yes.
The bikes are back, huh?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Last year they went through the school, and this year one of the motorcycles came through.
The babies are back. That's
Yep.
funny. That's good. And that's the teamwork we got right there. That's pretty cool. I appreciate that. So we finished up the show with the no Miranda zone. I don't know if you're familiar with this. That means you don't have a right to remain silent, as Miranda says, and you got to answer my question. So I'm going to start out with some softballs. What's the last movie you've seen there, LT? Oh, boy.
Probably
It's
probably a Minions movie.
I was going to
with
say
my
it had to be a
kids.
kid movie, right?
It was.
Yeah.
I have a 3 and a 7-year-old, so
probably
I
Minions?
believe it was Minions.
That's running around your house right
Yes.
now? Yeah.
The Bad Guys is one of their popular ones on Amazon too. So
I'm not familiar with that. I got a 3-year-old granddaughter, so I gotta get used to this.
It's a funny one.
Yeah.
No.
Last movie?
For me, it was The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's my son's favorite movie.
Oh, really?
So it's on every day.
Yeah.
No way, really?
Pretty much the same story in our house.
Yeah.
Bad Guys I've seen countless times.
Yep.
I gotta look that one up. I haven't
The
seen that
6-year-old won't let it go. So
one. Yeah. Going on vacation, had all the money in the world and all the time. Where would you go?
I'm going up to the Adirondacks
Mm-hmm.
as far as I can go, so that
No cell phone?
there's no cell phone.
Hiking?
I don't care.
No.
I'm good even if we have no electricity.
I
So
love it, man.
the ability to get out and be unplugged. That's it.
Introvert naturally, or just yeah. It makes two of us. People don't think I am. I'll go home and sit in my garage and watch a baseball game and be just content not talking to anybody.
I like to say I'm not antisocial. I'm just asocial. Right?
Well, you don't come off. No, you do come
Not
off
at
that way. Where you going there, LT? Vacation. Money's not an option. Well, it's an option, but it's not a barrier.
It's somewhere I haven't gone before, and I don't know where that is, but somewhere warm with a beach.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
a beach guy?
I am.
Yeah.
I
gotta
love
be in
the sun. I
mountains.
love the
I'm going to
ocean.
mountains. I got
Yeah.
about an hour of ocean in me. But
I could do it every
beach,
day.
yeah.
Yes.
If I step on that sand, I'm out.
And that's a conflict with the wife, because you sit on the beach for hours and hours, and I'm an hour and I'm digging a hole and making trenches and, and whatever. I don't think I just can't sit there. I got to be in the mountains. I could sit there all day long for some reason.
Yeah.
And just watch the mountains and listen to birds chirp.
Sure.
Yeah, we're all individuals. Well, guys, thanks again for sharing with us a little bit about who you are and this motor unit, and in particular what you do in that blue uniform all the time and your different worlds and expertise. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.